Hello and welcome to the Grand Prix Legends Long Play series here on the Alsatian Productions YouTube channel. My name is Jack Cobourn and today we are at Longford for the Australian Grand Prix. Now I won't be racing a Tasman car here at Longford this weekend, namely because Grand Prix Legends doesn't have a Longford circuit and has been in the works for years when I started playing Grand Prix Legends but never got completed. So, instead we're going to do two touring cars and GP races here. So let me run you through the circuit. We're coming down Main Street, we just passed the water tower, we're heading into the viaduct. Now the viaduct, of course, is named for the railway bridge that crosses over the track right about here. We'll throw the car nice and gently through there. And we're going to come over the King's Bridge over the nice Southwest River here at Longford, all the way down to Cobourn. The American Tim Mayer unfortunately was killed here while driving one of Bruce McLaren's Coopers in 1964. He probably could have gone on to be a Formula One hero, and is one of Formula One's greatest what-ifs. Coming through Cobourn, you'll see one of the track's railway crossings, and actually one of the main reasons why this track somewhat fell out of favor. Luckily, the Premier of Tasmania did complain when a race was held up due to the train, and the train schedule was changed for the meeting starting from 1964 onwards. This track was also considered to be a possible venue for the Bathurst 1000, known as the Armstrong 500 at the time, but due to the train schedule that would have also been difficult. We got to through Cannery Corner, and we're heading up to the track's biggest feature, Long Bridge, this long wooden bridge across the Southwest River. We're coming down to Newbury Corner, right about here. And we're going to tuck the car nice and gently through there as we begin the descent down the Flying Mile. In a Tasman car, it's really difficult to spot the corner at the very end of Longford. It was also really difficult in the GT40, as you'll see in the Sunday Driver's second series this week. Anywho, coming down Flying Mile here in our little Cortina. We really will not win the overall, but we could win the class, so that's kind of all that matters. 120 miles an hour. And I've totally missed the breaking point for Mountford, so down the escape road we go. Spin the car around gently. Nobody coming. Redrawing the circuit. I have driven F1 cars around here. They do have a 65 set for rFactor, similar to the 65 set for Grand Prix Legends, but it's not a perfect one-to-one fill for this, and I just didn't feel like it would be a good fit for the series. So as we get the car set up for the viaduct, we'll also be running our little Lotus on land in the GT race around here. So that should be fun. So we'll do another few laps of practice around here. And we'll see how we do. Alright. Now, unfortunately, during the 65 Tasman weekend, Rocky Precise and photographer Robin De Herrera were both killed in an accident a week after Decise's mentor, Lex Davison, was killed at Sandown, casting a shadow over the event. But overall, the 1965 Australian Grand Prix here was one of the all-time classics. Bruce McLaren winning from Zach Brabham, with Phil Hill just a little farther behind Brabham, like not even a second in his final single-seater drive. But I absolutely love Longford. I love how the circuit feels. It's a lot of fun to drive. It's a little like Rennes in France, combined with a little bit of Spa involved. And I'm really excited to be driving my little Cortina around here. We'll definitely be taking the Atlanta for a spin as well, and we can see what that's like. Alright, let's find the braking marker for this. There are little yellow signs on the side of the road, so let's figure it out. Haven't got there yet. Is that a 400? Yeah. Okay, let's start braking about here. I'm so glad my car has some disc brakes. I actually never make this corner. And you'll see that in the second series this week. I did totally justice for my being recorded. Whoa! Having to swerve to avoid a now. Okay, we did that in a 314. That's not too bad. Not great, but it's not terrible. So I think what we'll do is we'll pull down the escape road here, close out, and move on to qualifying. Okay, so of course, I'm a little surprised the minis are faster than me, but that's okay. But the Mustangs, Falcons, and Jags will definitely be the ones that are leading the charge here today. I mean, man, those Mustangs really are way faster than the Jags. So let's move on to qualifying. Here we go.
Real feel is enabled.
And unlike Sandown, where you'll see me split between the two things, driving the Tasman car and the Cortina, I'm just going to run the Cortina in qualifying and the race, and then run the GP race. The racing was over the Labor Day long weekend for Tasmania, so racing usually began on, practices usually began on Thursday. There was a Saturday race at Longford for the Tasman cars, like a preliminary event, and then the actual Tasman event on Monday. Usually it was known as the South Pacific Trophy. Like I said, in 1965, it was the Australian Grand Prix. The first Australian Grand Prix was held here in 1959. I think there was one other one, but yeah. I like the way this Cortina sounds. I also really like driving it, too. It's probably actually been my favorite Lotus to drive so far in this playthrough series. I mean, I love my 33 Murphy Electric. I cannot wait to get back to driving that. That's going to be a whole lot of fun to do that. Coming along here. And we're doing 4-lap touring car and 4-lap GP race. Nothing fancy, nothing special. and I'll give you the Tasman scores. Now, in fact, we're not done running Tasman cars, despite the series being over, because next week we're going to Lakeside in Australia for a non-championship race called the Lakeside 100. So I'll have to drive the Lotus 32B one more time, and then yeah, so that'll be interesting to say the least. Coming down the flying mile. Let's see if we can actually make the corner this time. Oh, we got 120 down here, 121. 400, 300, 250. Demons break down the straightaway. I'm just gonna let this Falcon go. Only because, frankly, I can't keep up with it. I mean, if I take the class win, that's not gonna be too big. Be okay with that. Ooh. Well, kept the car moving, that's really all that matters. Didn't crash into the bog area around there over King's Bridge. And then the corner really down. Personally, I just think the mod for this is just perfect. I think it encapsulates what this circuit road is like at this time. It's beautiful, it's fun to drive, and yeah, it just really doesn't get any better than doing this. The best part is it's at the end of a long Australian summer too. Pick up the pace. Up, okay. Oh, that didn't go to plan. So, yeah, okay. I doubt my mechanics will be able to fix this in time for me to actually qualify this car. So, I'm gonna finish this session, and we're just gonna start from the back of the grid. That was incredibly dumb by me to have that kind of accident, but happens. Alright. So let's move on. We're not going to do the warm-up, but we are going to do the race.
Real field is
Here
enabled.
we go. Now we're away. We're going to the Lamborghinis. Now the Jags won't be able to pass me, but not by much. So if I can get around this wall of flying bricks of the I can really start to begin to come down the staid old Jags. feeling a little like John Paul in the scene. Not John Paul and Inspector Morse, because then I would be driving under his bag. So I'm going to push as hard as I can into Pup Corner and sneak it up the inside on Bob Vane here in his lightweight Mark II Jag. Yeah, the Jaguar factory built a couple special touring car racers for some of their favorite customers. Prince Cunningham, the American yachtsman and racing driver, had one. So did Mike Hawthorne, and I think Graham Hill also raced one as well. But Bob Vane also got one. But weirdly enough, I think we won an Australian Grand Prix in that car. You can tell just how much I want to beat all these cars. Now I'm about to become a nuisance to all of them. But the thing is, I want better brakes. Coming down the straight. Alright, let's make sure we get this right this time. Here. 400, 300. I'm gonna let Jane and Graham Hill go by. And I'm going to just gently shove it up the inside, but add a massive growth on behavior. I honestly don't know how anybody ever got around that corner, frankly. I mean, you'll see in the second series, there are a couple of first lap accidents there, and I'm just like, how did anybody make it around there? Ooh. Gonna hang as far as we can. Okay, I have about a 2-second lead over the Mini. So let's see if we can keep that. I'm not gonna catch the Jag. Alright, so I think that's my touring car race done with right there. Yeah. Suspension, that seems about right. That's just on me for trying to make the corner. But somehow Peter Manton, Australian Mini Ace, had brake failure. It's a little hard to believe. And then so too did a Mustang of That doesn't surprise me too much either. So hang tight, because I'm going to switch over real quick, and we're going to run the Lotus Elan in this 4-lap sports car race as well. So hang tight, I'll see you in a moment. Hello, and welcome to the GT race here at Longford. Alright, we have a pretty nice field for this race. Let's talk a little bit more about the track. We'll move over to qualifying. Okay, we'll actually just move over to the race then.
Real field is enabled.
Alright, starting from the back. Let's see what we can do. So this is the first time I've ever raced this Elan. I'm actually really excited about it. And we just have a mixed field of like Austin Dealings and Jaguars. Stuff that maybe would have raced this time. I definitely know there would have been no 250 GPL competing in this. So the Elan was the successor to the Elite. I believe it came out in 1962 and lasted until about 1973. And this one is a special racing version called the 26R. Whoa! Ooh. Alright. Well, the 26R, this special one, is known as the Yellow Bug. It was run by Ian Walker Racing for Jim Clark during the 1965 season, and competed in various British GT events throughout the year. I can't believe I just rolled the car coming through there. It is a bit of a compared to the Cortina, it is a really tricky thing to drive, I will say that. Alright, let's see if we can actually catch back up and pass these guys. And you'll see me race this Elan from time to time on the series. You'll definitely see me next week at Lakeside running it. Ooh. Wow, this is a tricky car to handle, that's for sure. But the boy, it's funny, as much as I love Longford really doesn't love me. And to be perfectly fair, I didn't really love Jim Clark much either. He never won here. Surprising. Well, somewhat surprising. Oh boy. Okay. So, we're just going to call this one. So let me at least read you the Tasman Series results while I got you. So, McLaren beat Brabham in the race, and this is what the final standings will look like. Clark finished 5th. He got 44 points, won the Tasman Series. Brabham has 25, McLaren has 20, Graham Hill has 17, Frank Gardner has 12, Viv Stowell also is on 12, John Riley, is on 8. Phil Hill, after that masterful drive to finish 3rd at Longford, he also is on 8 points. Then there's Jim Palmer with 7, Frank Manage with 7, Kerry Grant with 3, Leo Gagan with 3, Rex Flowers with 2, and Rolly Levis with 1. So that's the entire Tasman Series. Stay tuned next week for the Lakeside 100 non-championship race. I promise you it will go better than this. Alright, thank you so much for watching the Grand Prix Legends Long Play Series. My name, of course, is Jack Cobourn, and we'll see you next time here on Sunday Driver. Bye-bye.
This
This has been a presentation of Alsatian Productions. Vroom!